Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing a model launched in 2024 using the latest Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch platform. This, of course, is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch white lacquer dial. So a Moonwatch, but with an upscale dial featuring white lacquer and applique. So taking a look at the size, it's going to be very familiar. 42 millimeters in diameter, in stainless steel. Looking at the watch in profile, 13.6 millimeters thick. This is a sapphire sandwich, so front and back sapphire crystals. And then from lug to lug, 47.3 millimeters with the 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. Popping open the clasp, we're going to throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. It wears well. Now, this latest generation of Moonwatch features pivoted end links, so it's a little bit more compact across the wrist than previous generations. As a result, I can see this wearing really well on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. There's your cuff shot, and here's your down the barrel, which is always the truest angle. Plenty of spacing. From over the top, which exaggerates the width of the watch, the lugs are still inboard to the edge of my wrist. The bracelet's a lovely piece that has a bit of a vintage aesthetic, and that is intentional. A partially conforming end link that makes it to the case. We've got a combination of satin primaries and polished intermediates. It does taper as you move toward the clasp. You can see the outer faces are polished, and the bracelet includes quite a few removable links, and they're really small, so you can fine-tune the fit quite precisely. But there's also a little push button in and out micro adjustment mechanism, which you can use to fine-tune the fit to your wrist, even as perhaps activity, inactivity, hot and cold to change your wrist circumference. Clasp with the Omega logo, you can see a combination of satin polish and a little bit of media blast, twin trigger release, thick gauge steel clasp, thick gauge steel single fold swing arm. It looks and feels great. Lyre style lugs, we know them well. We have since the early 60s on Speedmasters and Seamasters. So you've got these inward satinated bevels, and then you have these polished outward bevels. Then the bevel runs edge to edge. We have a thin satinated midcase, a little bit of a shear guard profile or shoulders framing the crowns. Then we've got a bezel that's polished on its underside. On the top, it's got the nostalgic anodized aluminum insert. And then we've got a vaulted sapphire, and it is a sapphire, to give you a little bit of a plexi look, but sapphire durability. The dial, people ask me, Tim, why not white ceramic? Omega uses ceramic dials all the time, and I believe the answer is that the ceramic dial, though lush, luxurious, and durable, could achieve this aesthetic, but it would also be quite a bit thicker. So in order to maintain the thickness of the watch, I believe that is why lacquer was chosen. It's gleaming, it's glossy, we still have the dished registers, and then we've got applique indices, which is a step up from printed dials. You can also see all the indices, hands, the Omega logo, they have been blackened for better contrast. We'll do a quick lume shot here. Take a look. And as you can see, no shortage of lume with the chronograph seconds hand luminescent. Of course, these watches are still certified for use by NASA. Their versions feature the Hesselite crystals, but in every other regard, very, very similar. So this still has the cachet of being a flown style watch used for spaceflight, manned missions, and extravehicular activity. A push-down crown, 50-meter water resistance. Normally, I would not recommend that for swimming, but Robert Jan Broer, who knows Speedmasters better than I do, spoke to Omega, and they told him that these can be used on the surface for swimming. So that is from Robert Jan, and I think his word is gospel when it comes to Speedmasters. Now you can see in good taste for this generation of the Speedmaster, Omega put all the advertising on the back, coaxial, master chronometer, the first watch worn on the moon. That's great, and I'm happy none of it's on the dial side. Sapphire over the case back, latest generation, still vaguely, that is distantly, Lamagna based, caliber 3861. Now there are quite a few upgrades. Free sprung, silicon hairspring, amagnetic to the extent that it's anti-magnetic to over 1.5 Tesla. You can see it's free sprung, no more mobile index, very shock resistant, allows for precise adjustment. We still have a cam action and a lateral clutch, but I gotta tell you, at some point, the manufacturing might of Lamagna and Omega and ETA collectively reaches the point where their cam chronographs are as crisp as any column wheel, and I mean that sincerely. If you want anything sharper than this, I'm not sure you're going to find it. Maybe there's a bit more refinement in the action of something like a dotograph or a Minerva-powered Mont Blanc mono pusher, but not sharpness, not tactile feedback, not precision. This is where it's at. Coaxial escapement, you can't see it, but it's here, meaning it's got the tangential double impulse system that George Daniels created in the 70s, Omega industrialized in the late 90s, and this is the latest 3-level version where you have 2 impulsing planes and then 1 plane that acts strictly as the last gear in the drivetrain. So the key here, tangential friction, which is less than sliding friction of a Swiss lever. So you get a little bit of an improvement in power reserve. This is now 50 compared to the old Moonwatch's 48. Lower maintenance requirements and greater overall durability. So precision also improves. This is a master chronometer, which means it's tested in 6 positions as a fully cased up watch, not 5 positions like a bare movement COSC test. It meets the COSC, but it goes beyond. 6 positions, fully tested, but also fully assembled, also tested against magnetism, over 1.5 Tesla, also tested for power reserve, also tested for overall durability and water resistance. The master chronometer standard is a higher standard. Another feature not previously available on the standard Moonwatch is hacking seconds, so it can be set precisely to a known accurate reference time. It's now 26 joules rather than 18. It's definitely more complex than in the past, but it is attractive to look at, and this 3861 is a quantum leap forward in overall capability. Let's do one last quick prompt. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions.